Hi, this tutorial video will cover creating a serial subscription in Koha. I have pulled up a serial that a library has, and we'd like to create a subscription for this. Serials in Koha allows for an easy receiving process. Once you set up the subscription and the prediction, Koha will start to predict when things arrive, and it will be an easy receival process after it's set up. Once you're on the record itself, from this new drop-down menu, you can go ahead and create a new subscription.
This is really the most efficient way to do it because as Kelly's showing you here, this screen, you can go into the serials module, which we'll show you, and create from scratch. But the nice thing about doing it from the bibliographic record itself is it grabs that unique number for the bibliographic record, which is housed in the 999 subfield C, and identifies it right away. You'll notice right beneath that, you do have search for a record or create a record. So if you were coming in here from scratch, you could do it, but this way you don't have to search. You can just go right in and create that record.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you did use the acquisition module and wanted to link this to a vendor, you can do that. And again, using that search feature, we'll go ahead and search through the vendors you have in Koha. This allows for an ability to send notices to your vendor if you do not receive the issue that you should be receiving. Probably one of the most important parts about a serial subscription on this page is whether you're going to barcode, in essence, create that item record per issue. So if you wanted to create an item record when you receive this serial and you barcode them and you put them on the shelf and they circulate, then you would want to go ahead and create an item. If you do not create an item record when you receive this serial, which means you don't barcode it, you just house them, then you can go ahead and do not create an item. Let's go ahead and create an item.
Perfect.
Next, this will depend on each serial within every serial, I think, is different. Whether when there is an irregular issue, how does this serial handle that? Does it skip the issue number or keep the issue number? Generally, I say they keep.
Me too.
Manual history. We're going to click that and it's going to keep a manual history of this serial. If you want a default call number set up when you are creating each issue, then you can do that, and that will be one step. When you create the item going forward, it will already be done for you. So let's just do, maybe they do periodicals in the first couple letters. You're going to want to assign it to a specific library. I believe this one was at Berkshire Community College. If you had a public note or non-public note about this serial itself, a gift from somebody, or we hold
the last 5 years.
The last 5 years, exactly. If your library did have routing lists functionality in your serials, so if you always had that professor that wanted to be alerted of the newest issue of Bon Appetit, you can say, yes, I would like to have patrons to be able to be notified, and that would be that new serial issue dropdown. Or if you don't want to activate this specific magazine, you would keep that at none. Location, where is this held in your library?
So this is pulling from the shelving locations that you've set up when you have migrated over to the Koha system.
Yep. And then item type. So again, if we are circulating this because we're creating an item, what would that item type be? So again, your circulation period for how long this can be checked out for. Grace period, if you did want to alert the vendor when the item did not arrive, then you can assign a grace period. So if it should be arriving on the 1st of the month and it's a monthly magazine, maybe you give it 14 days, and then by 14 days, they pass that grace period. Bon Appetit's a monthly magazine. Number of issues to display to staff. How many would you like to show, both on the staff side and the public? We'll do a whole year's. Okay, Jesse, you want to take this? I love this pop-up. So if you did want to claim, it's reminding you, hey, if you want to claim this, you would want to make sure you have that vendor information in there.
Okay. Oh, so I will say a few things here. This really is setting up your prediction pattern and preparing your subscription for receiving it on either a monthly, a bi-monthly, whatever the frequency that it comes is setting it up. So these dates are crucial to really get your prediction pattern set correctly. Now, I will say this, you'll notice right up top, Kelly has a little button that says subscription found on a Mana knowledge base. This is huge. Koha recently got the functionality which allows you to search other library prediction patterns. So instead of having to start from scratch, especially for those tricky ones, you can say, click that show Mana results. And what that will do is that will pop up where you can look and essentially find another library that has pulled in their prediction pattern. So I say, Kelly, let's grab one of these and see if we can, use one of these prediction patterns in there.
So it looks like they're all the same ISSN number, the title, published by, frequency. I know it is a monthly, so I'm just going to grab this. It's a volume number.
Perfect. And just click that import button. Now let's talk about some of these fields. So the first one really is the most important in my opinion. That is asking you for the first issue publication date. Whatever date you select here is what Koha is going to use to predict the rest of the issues. So if I pick April 1st, 2020, that means it's always going to choose the first day of the month to predict that pattern. So what I usually say here is, if you know it comes around the 1st or 2nd of the month, keep that date. If you know it comes mid-month, go for the 15th. If you know it comes at the end of the month, go for the 28th, 29th, whatever day you think it will come, because Koha will, again, use that date to predict it. The next thing we have is our frequencies. If Kelly hits that drop down, you'll see that there's tons of options. So there's about a dozen that are built into Koha, and then others grow as you make them because you can customize these. So you can see we have a month in there. The next thing is our subscription length. Now you'll notice this isn't a required field. I usually suggest to fill this information in because this will then again predict how long it's going to come. So it'll give you a prediction, based on this date. So if we say issues 12, it will give us a year worth of predictions. If we say 24, it'll give us 2 years. And you'll notice if we hit that drop down menu for subscription length, I can also do it by weeks or months. So again, that's your discretion. The next thing we have there is subscription start date. So now this will align with when you either signed that contract or started your new subscription. Koha has a built-in feature which allows you to search by expiration dates. So this is nice. If you fill this in, you can say my subscription started, let's say on, April 1st. And this will allow us to go in and start that subscription. You'll notice the end date is not required. What Koha will do is it will look at that subscription length and then it will give it 12 months after that particular subscription start date. Numbering pattern. Now, since we pulled this one in from the Mana database, it's automatically selecting that one. But if we hit the drop down, you'll notice there's some others that are in there that you can choose from. And you can see there's quite a few in there. You can, of course, make your own or choose an existing one in there. Now, locale, just to point this one out, if you get any other periodicals in a different language, let's say German, you could select German and then it would do the numbering, the numerals in German numbers. And then finally, we have essentially our pattern. So now since we're starting, we have a monthly magazine, we're starting in April. We give it a volume and number. The inner counter is the most crucial here because what Koha will do is it will predict the next one based on that number for issue. So that means that there was 63.1, 63.2, and 63.3 before the one that we're about to get. So our inner counter is going to be 3. So there was 3 issues that came before the current one that we're going to start. That inner counter is crucial to tell Koha the correct prediction pattern. Now, Kelly's pointing right now, you'll see there's a show advanced pattern. this is really good if, perfect example, this was monthly and then Bon Appetit decided to go to 10 a year rather than 12 a year, and they combined January, February, and let's say June, July. You could change this to 10 or 12 in the system. And I'll notice that it is 10 right there because they are combined. I don't get Bon Appetit, so Kelly's laughing. She probably does. And then you could modify that and change it. And then the final one there is to test our prediction pattern. So this, again, once we click that, we're going to get a nice breakdown of what it's predicting that it'll come over the year. Perfect.
Perfect. I can say that cereals do take a little bit of finagling sometimes. Every cereal is different, and you can see by those numbering patterns that a lot have been created per a specific magazine because it is so unique. This prediction pattern was brought in through Mana, saying that there were only 10 a year. So it looks as though we are increasing our volume in November, which may or may not be correct. But again, as Jessie said, some things may not be published. They may not be publishing the June, and that would be adjusting those numbering patterns for us.
And you can come in and adjust that at any time. So if this is a brand new subscription for you and you're not sure when they're combined, you can come back and do it. But if you've been subscribing to Bon Appetit for years and you know that the June and July, August is one issue, you can hit that not published, and Koha will then know to skip that issue in the system.
Great. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and that's actually going to make a cereal subscription for my Bon Appetit in the actual Biblio record, as well as give me some information about the subscription that we just created in Koha. I like this information tab that we get dropped into once it's been created, because I can easily look at what it looks like in the Biblio record as well as the OPAC. So let's just pop over there real quick and just see.
Reading my mind, I was going to say, let's show them what the subscriptions tab looks like.
Prior to this creation of the subscription, we did not have this tab. Once you create a subscription for a Biblio record, you will get that nice little tab, and this will keep all your subscription information here. So it gives you a nice summary, the location we assigned it, the call number, the latest 12 issues when they start to appear will be here, as well as a nice access point back to the serials module. And then we can, of course, go to the OPAC and see the OPAC. We again have a little extra tab. So there's our holdings tab, and then there's our subscription tab. And once we receive an issue, then we'll start to get some information in this table. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.